So, hello. Today I'm going to do an unboxing. I'm going to unbox the game Lobotomy by Titan Forge Games. This is a game I knew nothing about. I heard nothing about. I didn't even know it existed. It was on Kickstarter and now it's freely available. I bought this copy of bravenewworld.biz. Bravenewworld.biz. They're in Germany. They're an excellent retailer. Specializing in board games, really quick shipping. I ordered this on the Tuesday, paid on the Tuesday, and they shipped it on the Tuesday, and it arrived yesterday. So, or maybe, no, I think I even bought it on the Wednesday even only. So very fast shipping, excellent service. The game itself I heard about on YouTube because the Lonesome Gamer did a complete playthrough of one of the scenarios, or actually two of the scenarios, and I totally fell in love with it. The idea behind the game is that you are playing characters that are in an insane asylum and they are trying to, I don't know, maybe escape or fulfill certain missions. And the insane asylum is inhabited by a number of really unsavory characters. It's a horror themed game. When I watched the playthrough, I was sometimes reminded of Silent Hill. Not that Silent Hill plays in an insane asylum, I think, at least not the first one, or that or you're trying to escape from it, but some of the monsters kind of invoked images that I'd seen on Silent Hill in the movie or in the games. So it's a really hefty box. It weighs 4 kilograms. You can see that it's got 73 highly detailed plastic miniatures, 17 monster cards, 8 character cards, 12 game board tiles, 332 cards, 14 dice and 70 tokens. It's age 14 plus. Some of the themes are really, well, I mean, even some of the miniatures are quite graphic. So, in this game, players are patients trying to escape a psychiatric hospital together. The adventure has elements of survival horror, dungeon crawling, and role-playing. Everyone becomes a twisted character with a set of reality-bending disorders. You see the staff as horrifying abominations and common objects as magical artifacts. You've prepared an escape plan, but even trivial tasks seem like out-of-this-world missions. Hopefully, you will find a way to use that to your advantage. Otherwise, the chief hospital administrator will finish his rounds and strap you back to your beds. To help you embrace the unsettling atmosphere of the game, there are over 50 quality miniatures, dark-themed art, and a question. Are you really escaping the lobotomy, or are you this way because it has already happened? So I'm just going to remove the shrink. You can play it between 1 and 6 players, so that's really good. So also I'm just going to zoom in on the artwork because I really would like you to see this because I think it is actually horrifyingly beautiful. So it's really lovely. So the box is really sturdy and I like the finish. It's a matte finish. Let's open it up. New game smell. Here we've got the manual. I've heard that it's actually not really well written. There are apparently a lot of spelling errors. The English is maybe not as good. But there is a revised edition available on Board Game Geek, and I've already downloaded it and I will print it off. But it looks fantastic. I mean, just look at the artwork. The layout is really nice. You have plenty of pictures, information about the setup, also bringing in actual information about the game from the game. This looks really good. So it contains the scenarios at the back, scenario guide, difficulty level. So you've got 1 scenario, paranoid, beginner, 2 scenarios, normal, 3 scenarios, crazy hard, 4 scenarios, insanely impossible, 150 plus minutes. So that's the really thick rule book, and I like this new book smell. Let's see what else we have. Now here come the minis. Oh wow. Oh my god. They are insane. They are small compared to, let's say, the miniatures of Kingdom Death Monster, but just look at the detail. This is the Antichrist, so here in the back with a child, and you can pop them out if you like. So these can be removed if you want to spray paint the base and do it separately. And of course I will paint all of them, and I will have to spray paint them. I'm just going to show you this layer of monsters and figures. So here the heroes are in tan color. So, and they have tried to bring in characters from horror films. So here we have a character called Ellen D. Ridley, which is of course Ellen Ripley from Alien, and with the shaved head she would be from Alien 3. Here we've got, I think his name is Arnie Connors. Of course that's Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator. And for some reason this guy reminds me of Blade. We'll have to find out who this is. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 characters, 3 of whom are female. Then we have here some of the monsters. You know, these are, I don't know what they are. The nurses. In quite short skirts, of course. Then you have these zombie-like creatures. So you've got normal monsters, elite monsters, and I think we have one boss monster or more. Let's see what we have here. They are actually quite light, but I don't think that there will be an issue. Yeah, so they should be fine. Yeah, yeah. And here we've got more monsters. So these are zombie-like monsters, and yeah, they are in here. So and here we have the big ones. This is the warden, so he's like, one could use some green stuff on his neck, as you can see, but you know, that kind of depends. I mean, if you paint him, I mean, he will be red and black anyway because he's the devil, and you can see his apron, and he's carrying this poor soul, and when you turn him around you can see that he's very muscular. Also, he's just wearing a loincloth. But of course he is from hell, and it's quite hot in there. And here we've got something that I can't identify, so I'll just call it an abomination. Sorry about that. But it's, I mean, like I said, they are light, but they are really good quality, and I'm actually very, very happy with them. So, and of course there is no assembly required, which is also quite nice. And here we've got more monsters. Yeah, so the fun keeps on coming, and I can already see myself enjoying myself greatly when I'm doing the painting. So this would be an inmate, you know, he can see his straight jacket, so that would be a skeleton that you paint like skull white, and then, you know, you have like maybe a green, light green, tan, maybe straight jacket. So that's them. Then we've got wooden tokens. Now this game has a nice mechanic where, for example, when you have an artifact that you use, let's say a weapon, you can't just, first of all, it can break and it loses its power as you go along, but also if you want to use it again, you have to give it a sort of cooling off period, which is quite a nice idea, if you ask me. Or even if you use a special power that you have, you also have to give it, a kind of cooling off period before you can reuse it, which in my opinion makes it a lot more realistic. Here we have a some of the tiles. I hear that there is a problem with warping of the bigger tiles, but that you can easily solve this by actually flattening them and putting heavy books on them. So very nice, double-sided. Very nice finish, they feel really good. And another one, Run. Okay, there's some glare, yeah. Then here we have some cards, so these would be the characters. We have Peter Constant. I have no idea where he comes from, but he looks like a preacher person. We'll just take those out. First of all, also, I would like to point out that the packaging is really good. Peter Constant, we have Arnie Connors, Markus Dieter. I don't know who he is supposed to be. So if you know who these people are supposed to be, do let me know. Bernard Smith. No idea. Dale Walker. I mean, he does remind me of Blade. Ellen D. Ridley. Grandma Bates. Well, yeah, we all know who she is. She's actually a miniature in a wheelchair. Then we have Helena Swan. I've got no idea who she is supposed to be. Peter Constant, I said I don't know, and Arnie Connors. So you have 8 characters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The quality is really good. I love the feel of the cards. Stock, really good. You get plenty of dice. So you have normal 6-sided dice. So you roll those. Then you have a chaos die, which you can use to add wounds. So the skulls are wounds. And you have a defense die. And then in order to do random placement of things, you have a 12-sided die and a 4-sided die, and you roll them and you say, okay, each game board has 4 quadrants, so it's quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4, and then which space in that quadrant. Here you've got colored bases or base covers, which you can use if you want to keep your miniatures, your hero miniatures apart easily, because while I don't think that they look a lot alike, of course, unpainted, they're all brown. So that's a nice touch, actually. And then we've got things that look like altars or sacrificial stones. Very nice. Okay. Then here we have personalized cards for heroes. So I've got Dale Walker, 1, 2, Bernard Smith, 1, 2, Arnie Connors, 1. Okay, there's more. Okay, so you have Dale Walker, Arnie Connors, Bernard Smith. So let's just order them while we're at it. Bernard Smith. Dale Walker only has 2 cards, but I'm pretty sure I'll find the rest. Then we've got memory cards. Again, the cardstock is really nice, and also I like the way they made them look, so that they look like you have the brain in the back, and you have like these particular. So these are Dale's memories. Memory strips are generic strips. Then you've got Ellen's memories. So the way this works is that memory strips are usually bad, and they are generic, and they will be assigned to people randomly. And then each person has individualized memories, which usually give you a benefit. So when you draw those cards or when you turn them over, you get a benefit. More memory cards. Then here we have anxiety cards. This is or craziness cards, if you like, anxiety neurosis. Aggression. Let's see. Yeah. They're not really coming off, which means they're really well packaged. Phobia, OCD, movement cards. They will actually tell you what happens. It's like a mythos phase card. So what happens at the end of the phase. So who's moving and where they're going. It's like an event at the end of the round. It determines, does the warden move, and do other things happen? Do you spawn monsters, and if so, which ones? Here we've got more movement cards. Put them there. Then we've got meds. So these are items. You can get meds, you can get equipment. Peter Constant, so these are more personalized cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Marcus Dieter, 1, 2, 3, 4. Helena Swan, 1, 2, 3, 4. Grandma Bates, 1, 2, 3, 4. And Ellen D. Ridley, 1, 2, 3, 4. And 2 more for Dale Walker. Remember, when we first looked at him, he only had 2. So we found the, if you like, not missing, but the ones that we didn't have in the beginning cards. So that's good. So we'll just put them here because these are, and as you can see, I mean, even the artwork, okay, I mean, this is personalized artwork, but even this artwork is so good. I mean, I am not going to sleeve those using, I was going to use sleeves that don't have a non-transparent back, but I'm not gonna do it now because I really want to see those cards, and they are also, I mean, they're really lovely. So when you turn them over again, oh yeah, this is what I was talking about. So this is a utility. It's called Flash, and when you use it, you put your you put this marker here, so it means you have used it. So now it's going to take you 5 rounds before you can use it again. So every round you remove this down to 1 and then towards 1. And if you kill a monster, you also get to move it down. So killing a monster will actually let you use your powers or your instruments that you may find more often. So that's this card deck. So here we've got the meds and equipment. Here we've got more cards. The weapons, very important in this game because obviously you are being attacked by monsters. But mainly I think actually the secret is to run away. So here we've got the weapons. And here we've got more madness cards, schizophrenia. And then we've got the scenario cards. And then we've got more phobias. So we have 20, I think, scenario cards. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 21. Okay, I was expecting 20. And then finally, we have, we have the actual monster cards. So I'm going to open these. I mean, the Antichrist. Again, the artwork is top notch. When I see this Antichrist, of course, I have to think of Damien from The Omen. And I'm pretty sure that this was the intention. So again, the back, really lovely, and the front, the Antichrist. I really like the artwork here as well. I'm just going to zoom in a little. This is quite a dark, of course, picture because it's, well, it's dark. The Baba Yaga. Again, the artwork is just brilliant. The Witch. The Big Mama. The little girl, I mean, she totally reminds me like she came straight out of a Japanese horror movie. The Body Snatcher. The Orderly. Frankenstein's monster, the scavenger, the mental patient, the nurse, and the vampire. I mean, they look crazy. And the twins, yeah, that's the stuff nightmares are made of. And the warden, I mean, he's like the big boss, and you cannot actually, I mean, when he hits you, you know, you have no chance. The nemesis, also very nice in its shroud. The clown, and the slasher, and the Antichrist again. So again, beautiful artwork. Well, beautiful in the sense of it's beautifully made, although a lot of people go, oh, this is ugly, and yeah, it's supposed to be. Okay, but of course, seeing as this is a board game, at the moment it looks like we have a game without a board. So this is a board game without a board. That's like a really zen board game. What's the sound of playing a board game without a board? And here we are. Here we've got, if you like, the central or the main board. So this is a huge piece of board. And I will just zoom out more that you can see, oops, its entirety. So this is actually a really big board. You can turn it over and the board is completely different. So here you've got like, it's more like a, possibly a common room, you know, people sitting down. Here we've got cells. This is the infirmary. More of a common room. Storage rooms. The therapy room. More rooms. And of course here you see the that the spaces are essentially uneven, and they're like differently, I mean, they have different sizes, so you basically walk in spaces. Yeah. Okay, so that's an electroshock room. Lovely. And of course, lobotomies do not help. I mean, it's they actually do terrible harm, and they do not help people with psychiatric problems. And I'm very glad that, of course, they are no longer legal and are not performed anymore. Okay, here's a slight problem with that board, but it's only minor. But of course, you know, they would have been traveling, and yeah. So one thing you do notice is the boards themselves were not wrapped in plastic, so that's but you know, they are reasonably thick. Oh, 666. That's like the outdoors. And they also have a basketball court. He is coming. Brilliant. And now here we have the tokens. So I'm just going to turn this over. So we've got 3 sheets of tokens. Oops. Yeah, I already punched one out accidentally. And these are doors. And they come on stands, so when we punch this out, I suppose we can actually build a door stand. Yep. This should work quite nicely. So they're in 3D, which is also lovely. Yep. Lovely. 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 Okay, good. So we've got doors. We've got, yes. We've got cupboards that we can look into. And then when you do, you search them, you turn it over, you get the possibility of getting items. And you roll dice, and the number of successes indicate what you can get. Here, for 2 dice, you can get medicine. For 2 successes, you get medicine. Or for 4, you can get scissors or equipment. However, if you only roll 1 success, you get zilch. And on these ones, you can actually, where you see this, if you have no successes, you actually find a monster. Very nice. And here we've got general tokens whose meaning I don't know, but we will find out. And that's the unboxing of Lobotomy by Titan Forge Games. I hope that you will join me when I play this game. I don't think I've got enough sleeves at the moment to sleeve all the cards, but I will make a start today, and then we will see when I will be able to play this game. I'm also planning on actually not waiting too long, because I'm really curious to see if you play this game. I watched it played, like I said, and I fell in love with it, because it's very tough, and the person who played it said he'd never won a single game. But of course it also lends itself to be house ruled, you know, so if you realize, okay, that's not going to work, that's not going to happen, you can always then say, okay, I'm going to play this differently, I'm going to house rule that maybe on a roll of 1 to 2 I don't see any new monsters, you know, things like that. So yeah, we will see what we shall see, and until then I wish you a pleasant day. Bye bye.